Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Cheltenham Racecourse here on day one of the Cheltenham Festival here on Tuesday. It is March the 13th, 2018. Gonna look at all the races on today's program from Cheltenham, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections from race courses around the world. Join me the rest of the week here on YouTube for my Cheltenham previews for the rest of the day's racing, and also join me next Saturday, the 24th, for the British Flat season opener from Doncaster. Lincoln Day from Doncaster. It's going to be a good day of racing. And the week after, the 31st, join me here on YouTube for the Dubai World Cup preview. It's going to be some very nice races coming up, but this is really the festival everybody's been waiting for all year. It's been a crappy winter all across, England and here in the United States, here on the East Coast, here in New York City. But, this is really the sign of spring is coming, and the, sign of everything is going to get better. And I've had some really good luck here at Cheltenham in the past, and hopefully we can make some money this week, because we're really going to need it for the next couple of weeks with all the big races coming up. But so let's get on to today's action from Cheltenham. We're going to look at all the races, starting off with the first race. The first race, the 1:30 post time. It is the Grade 1 Sky Bet Supreme Novices Hurdle, Class 1 race for Grade 1 horses, going for a purse of $169,000. I use the American currency for the prize money, so just keep that in mind. Occasionally I do get people saying, your prize money is wrong. Well, it's in the American currency, not in the pounds. Just keep that in mind. But this race is for novice 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 20 horses here, going the distance of ground of 3,200 meters or 2 miles over the hurdle course. The ground going is bit soft to heavy, so it's gonna have a lot of moisture in it, so keep that in mind. I did handicap my my tips to accommodate that, but this race 1, the 1:30, it's a very wide open race. I'm gonna give you 3 horses that I think could win, and those 3 horses are the 1 horse Claim It for again. A tough name for me. Pardon me if I mispronounce any horse's name during this video. I'm gonna go with the 1-6-15, the 1 horse Claim It for again, the 6 horse Klashkinov, and the number 15 horse Somerville Boy. So those are my top 3 for this race. Number 1, Claim It for again. 10-1, Nico de Boinville is on the Snicker Henderson trained 6-year-old gelding by Great Pretender. Most recently, horse that had a start about 5 weeks ago now, the 4th of February, Kemp Musselborough, soft ground, 2 miles in the Class 2 novice hurdle. This horse finished 3rd by 1 3/4 lengths that day. It was the horse's first start in nearly 7 weeks. I think the horse needed a race. It was closing up a little bit at the end, and also just to keep in mind, I don't think they really were going to go hard on the horse that day. They wanted to wait a month to win here at Cheltenham, but it was an okay race. Start before the 22nd of December. It came in Ascot. Soft ground, very similar ground you're going to see today in the Grade 2 Skybred Supreme Trial Novice Hurdle. This horse won by 2 1/4 lengths that day, was 50 cents to the dollar, and horse just jumped well, and just had a very nice easy victory as the favorite. Nice race for this horse. And then first start of the season, the 9th of November at Newbury, yielding ground again, 2 miles in a Class 4 Novice Hurdle. This horse won by 2 1/4 lengths. Again, this horse was low odds, but ran like a low odds horse should run. A very nice victory off the layoff. This season so far, other than that little, mishap at Musselborough, which wasn't really a mishap. I'm just guessing they really weren't going to try the horse that day that hard. Other than that race, this horse has run pretty well this year. If you go back to the races from last season, this horse ran at the festival last year in the Champion Bumper, a race I absolutely hate. Everybody knows that. But this horse finished 3rd by 2 3/4 lengths. Had a good turn of foot at the end. Not towards the end, towards the final 2 furlongs or so. In the final 100 yards, the horse kind of weakened out of it. But other than that, this horse ran well in the Champion Bumper, and then finished 5th in the bumper at Aintree during Grand National Weekend. But I like this horse here a lot. I'll take my chances with him at 10-1. Another horse I'll take my chances with is the number 6 horse Klashkinov. I know I'm saying it wrong. Pardon that. 4-1 here. Amy Murphy trains this 5-year-old gelding. This horse is coming off a start on the 10th of February. Came at Newbury. Very, very, very wet ground on a foggy day at Newbury that day. 2 miles in the Grade 3 Betfair Hurdle. This horse won by 4.5 lengths that day. It was a very tough field of 24 horses. This horse went off as the 8-1 favorite and had a great turn of foot at the end. Jumped well, a few from home, and it was an all-around great victory. Before that, the 6th of January at San Sandown. Heavy ground, 2 miles in the Grade 1 toll with Novice's Hurdle. This horse finished second by 4 lengths behind Somerville Boy, who's running back in this one today. Again, that day he just really couldn't get in front of Somerville Boy, who had a great turn of foot at the end, but this horse was second best that day. And then National Hunt Novice Hurdle at Doncaster, 2 miles in the 8th on the 2nd of December. This horse won by 10 lengths, a very easy race. This horse won his first 3, but he's, his only loss came at Sandown on a very wet day. He can handle the wet ground here. I think with a good weight here, he can get a right trip, and I'll use him as a top pick. I know 4-1 in this very large field is not the best price, but I think you're going to have to take it and watch out for him. So another horse I'll be using here is the number 15 horse, Somerville Boy, 7-1, 6-year-old gelding by San Mason. No feelies on this one for Tom George. This horse is coming off a race on the 6th of January. They came at Sandown, very, very wet ground. 2 miles in the Grade 1 toll with Novice's Hurdle. I always want to say National Hurdle, but it's a Novice Hurdle. But the horse that day won by 4 lengths at 8-1, and I had quite a bit of money on him that day. He jumped well and had a great turn of it at the end from the final hurdle to the line, the run-in, shall I say. Had a great turn of foot, an all-around great race. That is a very tough course at Sandown. Start before here at Cheltenham, 15th of December, another tougher course, 2 miles in the 8th in National Hunt Novice Hurdle. This horse finished third by 5 3/4 lengths, and just had really nothing that day. I don't think that horse is very mature at that start. He just kept looking around. He just really wasn't focusing on the race. Before that, he had a great race here at Cheltenham on the 19th of November. 2 miles, 3,200 meters in the Grade 2 Sky Bet Supreme Trial Novices Hurdle. Source finished second by 3/4 length, 16-1. He was jumping well. He just missed at the end, but it was a very nice race over this ground. He should like the wet going, and I do think he could get a piece of it at the end. At 7-1, watch out for him. So to recap my bets for the first from Cheltenham, the 130, it's the Grade 1 Sky Bet Supreme Novices Hurdle. I'm going to give you 3 top picks here. I know it's, that's kind of coping out, but I think you're going to have to go a little deep in this race. I'm going to go with the 1 horse, I'm going to go with the 6 horse, and I'm going to go with the 15 horse. So 1, 6, 15. I'm going to do small each way wagers on all 3 of them. Maybe even a exacta box, all 3 of them, or a forecast box, all 3 of them. But so now let's get on to race number 2, the 210 from Cheltenham. The 210, it is the Grade 1 Racing Post Argyle Challenge Trophy Novices Chase. It's a Class 1 race going for a purse of $236,500. It's for novice 5-year-olds and upwards. Field of 5 horses here going the distance of ground of 3,200 meters or 2 miles over the chase course. My top pick in this race, I like the number 5 horse, St. Calvados. I'm going to go 5-2 in the forecast or the exacta. 5-2 forecast exacta. Top pick number 5, St. Calvados. Aiden Coleman is on this one for Whittington, who trains this one 5-year-old gelding by Saint de Sans, French-bred horse. But this horse has run pretty well in the past, I must say. His most recent outing came on the 10th of February at Warwick. Soft ground, 2 miles in the Grade 2 Kingmaker Novices Chase. This horse won by 22 lengths. He was 44 cents to the dollar. He was the best horse in the race, and he proved it. He jumped very nicely and had a very clear victory. An all-around great race. Before that, in a novice handicap chase at Newbury, 2 miles on the 17th of January. Ground was a little wet, but it was a beautiful day if you watched the replays. But this horse won by 10 lengths. A very nice, easy victory again that day. And then a novice handicap chase at Newbury on 30th of December. This horse won by 9 lengths in this UK debut. Another very easy race. Before that, they were running this horse in France over the hurdles at Auteuil, and he did okay in some parts and some parts not. But I really like this horse a lot here. Footbad, looks very hard to beat because he likes he's been doing well this year, and he gets Ruby Walsh back. But there's just a little question mark of him being, he's going to have his biggest challenge today, I think, Footpad. And I do think St. Calvados, he's been on the up and up, and I do think he'll be on a major race today. 3-1, I like the price better than 6-5 that you're getting on Footpad, so watch out. So to recap my bets for the second, the 310 from Cheltenham, it's the Grade 1 Racing Post Argyle Challenge Trophy Novices Chase. Gonna go with the 5 horse, St. Calvados. I'm gonna go 5-2 in the forecast or the exacta. I'm probably going to do like a $10 exacta forecast, so that's my wager for this race. So now let's get on to race number 3 from The 250 from Cheltenham, the third race here on opening day of the festival. It is the Grade 3 Ultima Handicap Chase, going for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $148,500. It's for 5-year-olds and upwards. Field of 18 horses here going the distance of ground of 3 miles and 1/8 over the chase course. My top 2 picks in this race, I'm going to go with the 5-horse 007 or 007, and I'm going to go with the 6-horse Vincente. Those are my 2 top picks here, and there's a lot of garbage horses, I think, in this race, my personal opinion, that looking on paper, they're absolute throwouts, and we'll get to them after I tell you about my top 2 picks. First off, the number 5 horse, 007 or 007, what do you want to call it, an Irish bred horse here. Aiden Coleman gets leg up for Nicky Henderson, who trains this 8-year-old gelding by Flemsfirth. Most recently, his horse had a start here on the 27th of January at Cheltenham. Heavy ground, 2 miles 5/8 in the Grade 3 Crest Nicholson handicap chase. This horse finished 5th by 21 lengths that day, and really just weakened out of it on the run. It was a very weird race. This horse should have really improved, but it didn't off his start before. But, I do think this horse is on a major run here today. I do think he's on the up and up, and he's on a major race, and I think he'll get it today. But, before that 23rd of December at Ascot, yielding ground 3 miles in the Class 1 listed chase, this horse finished 4th by 11 lengths that day. And again, he just really never got a good kick at the end. It just wasn't his day to win. And then in Class 2 handicap chase in Newbury, the 1st of December, going the 2 miles and a half, this horse that day, he finished 3rd by 1 3/4 lengths. And again, he jumped well, he just lacked a little bit on the run-in, but if you want to give him an excuse that day, it was his first start since Grand National weekend at Aintree. But if you look at his races at the end of last jumping season, he ran at Aintree in the Tovin handicap chase. He finished 4th that day, behind Ultra Gold, who won with a very low weight. This horse had 161 pounds, really just couldn't keep up with them at the end. And then he ran in the RSA novices chase last year at the festival, where he finished 5th by 48 lengths. He never really got into it that day. But like I said, I think he's on the up and up, and I do think he should run well here today. At 8-1, I'll take my chances with him. I also like the number 6 horse, Vincente. 15-1 here, French-bred horse here, 9-year-old gelding. Sam Twiston Davies is on this Paul Nichols trained 9-year-old gelding by Dom Alco. Most recently, his horse had to start the 6th of January. That came at Chepstow, heavy ground, 3 miles 11/16 in the Grade 3 Welsh Grand National. His horse didn't finish that day. He lost the rider few from home, but the ground was very, very heavy, almost towards sloppy. We give the rating here in America to dirt courses that are very wet. We call them sloppy. That turf course that day at Chepstow could have been called sloppy, even though it was grass. He just fell that day. He just really couldn't keep up with them. Like I said, the ground was very wet. You're not going to see that ground that wet today. But before that, Cheltenham, this horse ran very nicely. They came out on the 18th of November, 3 miles and 3/8, and the Grade 3 Bet Victor handicap chase. This horse finished 2nd by a neck. He just missed at the end, but he ran his heart out that day for his first start since the of the season. Wasn't a bad run. He should have improved next start out, but he didn't. But I do think he's on a major race also today. But before that, he ran on the 22nd of April. They came at Ayr in Scotland. 4 miles in the Scottish Grand National. He won by a neck that day. Was the 9-1 favorite at the post, and he jumped well and had a great victory that day. A few weeks earlier at Aintree, he ran the Grand National. He didn't finish that day. He fell. He just really couldn't keep up with him. He should have ran well that day also, but he didn't. And then he ran the Grand National trial at Haydock last February of 2017. He finished 9th by 48 lengths. Vion Le Rouge ran a very hell of a race that day. This horse really weakened out of it, few from home. It was sloppy there also. But I do think here he should run well. He had a great race in November here. Watch out for him to run a big one. So to recap my bets for the 3rd from Cheltenham, the 150. It is the 250. It's the 250 from Cheltenham. It's the Grade 3 Ultima handicap chase. Gonna go with the 5 horse 007 or 007, whatever the hell his name is, and I'm gonna go with the 6 horse Vincente. 5-6 for me. A small each wager on each of them here in race number 3 from Cheltenham. So now let's get on to race number 4. It's the featured on the program. The 4th race, the 330, it is the Unibet Champion Hurdle Challenge Trophy. Grade 1 race for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $657,500. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 13 horses going the distance of ground of 3,200 meters or 2 miles over the hurdle course. A very wide open race here. I'm going to give you two horses that I think could win here, and those two horses are the 5-horse Faheen and the number 12-horse York Hill. Both of those horses are Willie Melton's trained horses. Bovardier, who's the favorite, looks very nice on paper, but he's going to make his it's going to be his biggest challenge of the season so far. 1-2 is just not the price I like on him. But if he wins, I'll just applaud him. If he runs well. But if he looks very beatable on paper, especially at 1-2. But my top two picks here are the 5 and the 12. Number 5, Fahey, in this 10-year-old gelding by Germany, 6-1. Ruby Walsh reunites with this one. Most recently, his horse had to start the 3rd of February at Leopardstown during their inaugural festival and Irish Champions Hurdle. His horse finished second by 1 1/4 lengths. It was his second. It was his third race coming back, and he jumped well. He missed at the end, but it wasn't a bad outing. 6-1 is very high odds, I think, for this horse. He should be a little bit lower, but I'll take the odds. I like it at 6-1, but very surprising he's up there in odds because I do think he's still a good horse. Before that, at Leopardstown on the 29th of December in the Ryanair Hurdle, his horse didn't finish that day. 18 cents the dollar. He pulled up. Everybody had their heart in their throat when that happened. And after the race, Willie Mullins, the horse was fine, just a little tired. All the scans came back clean, and he did run well after that. But everybody was scared for about 24 hours or so after that run. But before that, his first start in nearly 2 years, the 19th of November, Punchestown 2 miles, and the Unibet Margiana Hurdle. His horse won by 16 lengths that day. A very easy victory. It doesn't get any easier than that. It was a soft field of horses, but he jumped well. And you have to go, and plus you have to go, if you want to go to his start earlier, you have to go back to the 24th of January of 2016 at Leopardstown. Soft ground, 2 miles in the Irish Champion Hurdle. He won by 15 lengths. That was the last time Ruby Walsh got on this horse. And again, he just won for fun. And then before that, in the Christmas Hurdle at Kempton on Boxing Day 2015, this horse won by 7 lengths. Again, very easy. And then finished second in the Morgiana Hurdle at Punchestown in 2015 at Punchestown. He finished second that day. Just couldn't catch Nicholas Cannon, may he rest in peace, who ran a brilliant race. But I do think this horse can run a big one here today, reuniting with Ruby Walsh. Watch out for him. Another Willie Mullins horse in this race that I think can run a big one at nice odds. This is a 12-horse York Hill. He's 10-1. Gets Mullins up for Willie Mullins, his son, 8-year-old gelding by presenting. Most recently, his horse had to start the 3rd of February. I came to Leopardstown, 2 miles in the 8th, and a double in chase. They've been trying this horse over the chases the last few, and he did well over the chases last season, but this year he's missing something. He finished 6th in the Dublin chase by 50 lengths. Really hit the wall. I don't think it was his day to win, but I do think coming to hurdles, which are not so I'm just trying to call my phone, pardon that. But the hurdles aren't so demanding, and I do think he should, really improve off his last one. Back to hurdles today. Before that, Leopardstown, 20th of December, 3 miles in a Christmas chase. He finished 8th by 50 lengths, and he just hit the wall that day. Again, he's missing something in this season over the chases. But like I said many times, back to hurdles today should really help this one. But if you look at his races last year over the chases, he ran well. He ended off the year at Ferry House in April 2017 and the Ryanair Gold Cup Novice Chase. He finished second by a neck. He lost a road to Prospect, but he had a decent second place finish, closing up well. Before that, here at the festival in the JLT Novices Chase, he won by length. He quickened up nicely and ran well. And then at Leopardstown in 2017, January 2017, and 2 miles and 3/8 Novice Chase, he won by 1 1/4 lengths. He jumped well again, but I think coming back to hurdles today, he should run well, and I like him here. 10-1. Watch out for him. So to recount my bets for the 4th from Cheltenham, it's featured on the program. It's the Grade 1 Unibet Champion Hurdle Challenge Trophy. Gonna go with the 5-horse Faheen, and I'm also gonna use the number 12-horse York Hill. Both those horses will be getting an each-way wager with me, and I'm gonna do a sort of tricast here, or trifecta. I'm gonna box the 5 and 12 for the first 2 positions, and for the third position of the TriCast. I'm going to single number 1 horse, Bavar the Air. So it's going to cost you $2 or something like that for the dollar TriCast. Very affordable. So now let's get on to race number 5 from the 410, the 5th race from Cheltenham. It's the Grade 1 OL BG Mares Hurdle. It's a Class 1 race going for a purse of $162,000. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards. Fillies mares only. Field of 9 horses going the distance of ground here of 2 miles and 1/2 or 4,000 meters over the hurdle course. My top pick in this race, I like the number 4 horse here, Juror's Girl. Gonna go 4-1 in the forecast or the exacta. 4-1 forecast exacta. Top pick number 4, Juror's Girl. I like her odds of 15-1, and I do think she's on the up and up here today. And but if Apple's Jade win, I'll applaud her also because she's a nice horse. But I do think she's going to be facing a big challenge here today and not get the same trip that she got in this race last year. But my top pick number 4, Juror's Girl, 15-1. Barry Garrity's on this one for Gavin Cromwell, who trains a 6-year-old mare by Jeremy. No, not Jeremy, Kyle, it's Jeremy. Most recently, this horse had to start the 27th of November. It came at Kempton, yielding ground 3 miles and 1/16 in the Class 1 mares hurdle. This horse finished second by a half length that day. It was the horse's second start of the season, and it jumped well, just missed at the end, but it wasn't a bad run. This horse can run on wet ground that you're going to see today. Start before the 12th of November at Navan. Soft ground in Ireland. 2 miles and 2 miles and a half in the Grade 2 Lismullen hurdle. This horse finished second by 2 lengths that day behind Apple's Jade, who ran well. But this horse was closing up well. They weren't really trying with this horse that day. If you watched the replay, Barry Garrity wasn't really going to stick that much. But it was an okay second place finish. And then at Tipperary in Ireland, the 1st of October, 2 miles in the Istrabrack hurdle. This horse finished 4th by 5 1/4 lengths behind Jaziki. Again, really didn't quicken up. It was the horse's first start in quite a while over the hurdles. I think she needed the race. They ran this horse in maiden race over at Rose Common over the flat, going a mile and a half. And this horse won by 5 1/2 lengths. Shamey Ackerman was up, and this horse quickened up nicely. Had a great victory from the front end. But it was the horse's first start since the festival last year at Cheltenham in this race. But this horse didn't finish. She fell a few from home. Disappointing beat. She should have really did well in this race last year. But I do like this horse off the break here today, and I do think she should run well. She should like the going. Watch out for her here at 15-1. So to recap my bets for the 5th from Cheltenham, the 410, it's the Grade 1 OL BG Mares Hurdle. Gonna go with the 4-horse Juror's Girl. Gonna go 4-1 in the forecast of the exacta. So now let's get on to race number 6, the 450 from Cheltenham. The 450 here on this Tuesday afternoon. It is the Grade 2 National Hunt Amateur Riders Novices Chase. It's a Class 1 race going for a purse of $169,000. It's for novice 5-year-olds and upwards. Field of 16 horses. 16 horses going the 4-mile trip over the chase course. I'm going to give you 2 horses that I think can win this race. Another very wide open race. I'm going to go with the 3-horse Duel at Dawn, and I'm going to go with the 5-horse Jury Duty. 3-5 for me here in this race. One of my horses, the 3-horse Duel at Dawn, 15-1. Thomas O'Brien is on this one for Alex Hales, who trains the 8-year-old gelding by presenting. Most recently, his horse had a start the 13th of January. That came at Warwick. Soft ground, 3 miles in a Class 1 novice chase. His horse finished second by 5 lengths that day, and kind of just didn't lacked a good closing kick at the end. Jumped well during that race, but I do think they were probably saving this horse for something bigger at the end. Before that, the 15th of December here at Cheltenham, soft ground, 3 miles and 1/8 in a Class 2 novice chase. Horse finished second by 6 lengths. Jumped well, wasn't a bad run, but I do think this horse should really improve with the 4-mile trip here today. But that race wasn't bad over this course. And then on the 26th of November at Exeter, soft ground, 3 miles, Class 3 novice chase. Horse won by 16 lengths that day. It was the best horse by a mile. A field of 3 horses. Horse just went with it and won easily. Very nice, easy race for this horse. Should like the going. Should like the distance. Off the break, I like this horse a lot. 15-1. Watch out for this one. I also like the number 5 horse. Not not the best of odds, but the 5-horse Jury Duty should run well. 7-2, JJ Cott is on this Gordon Elliott train, 7-year-old gelding by Will Chosen. This horse is coming in from Ireland to run. His most recent outing came on the 28th of January in Naz. Soft ground, 3 miles in the group in the Grade 3 Woodlands Park 100 Club Novice Chase. This horse finished second by 4.5 lengths. High weight of 164 pounds in that race. This horse just lacked a good closing kick in the final few jumps of the race, and just kind of weakened out of it. But I do think with a longer race with a slower tempo, this horse should run a little bit better, I think. Before that Leopardstown, 28th of December, 3 miles in the Grade 1 Neville Hotel's Novice Chase. This horse finished second by 1 3/4 lengths that day, and just really couldn't keep up with the winner who ran a little bit better. This horse was second best, but it was a weird race for this horse that day, I shall say, because she just didn't seem like herself on the replay. And then before Punchestown, 19th November, 2 miles 7/8 in the Grade 2 Liam and Valerie Brennan Memorial Florida Pearl Novice Chase. This horse won by 3/4 length. This horse jumped well and had a very nice victory that day, an all-around great run. She should really stay the distance. She should like the going. This race is not nearly as tough as some of the races she faced in Ireland. Watch out for this horse here today. So to recap my bets for the 6th from Cheltenham, what time is it? The 450 from Cheltenham. It's the Grade 2 National Hunt Amateurs Rider Novices Chase. Gonna go with the 3-horse Duel at Dawn. Gonna go with the 5-horse Jury Duty also. 3-5 for me in this race. So now let's get on to race number 7, the nightcap from Cheltenham here on day 1 of the festival. The 7th race, the 5:30. It's the Close Brothers Novices Handicap Chase. It's a listed Novices Handicap Chase going for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $94,500. It's for novice 5-year-olds and upwards, rated 0 to 145. Field of 22 horses plus 2 also eligible as a reserve, so only 20 will go. The distance of ground of 4,000 meters or 2 miles and 1/2 over the chase course. Going to give you 3 horses that I think can win. Very wide open race. Going to go with the 11, 14, and 19. 11, 14, 19. The number 11 horse, Divine Spear, I think this horse could get a piece of it. 10-1. Nikkei de Boinville is on the Sneaky Henderson train. 7-year-old gelding by Oscar. This horse's most recent run came on the 14th of February at Nelsonsborough, yielding ground 2 miles and a half in a Class 4 novices chase. This horse finished second by 7 lengths that day. Really lacked a good kick at the end. The winner, Delegate, just ran a little bit better, but I do think coming here second off the layoff, this horse should run, I think, better. She'll like the going a lot, I think. Before that, this horse ran at Ascot the 22nd of December, 2 miles and 1/8 in a Class 3 limited handicap chase. Horse won by 10 lengths. Going down to that group of horses, this horse just destroyed them. Very nice, easy victory that day. And then at Catterick on the 24th of November, 2 miles 3/8 in a Class 4 beginner's chase. First time over the chases, horse won by 1 3/4 lengths that day, or excuse me, 3 3/4 lengths that day. 73 cents a dollar. Horse jumped well and just had a very nice, easy victory. Other than the slight mistake at Musselburgh last time out, this horse, has run well over the chases, and I do think she should run well here today. She ran over the hurdles here at Cheltenham last April, and she had a decent 5th place finish in a handicap hurdle, but that was over the hurdles. But in the chases, she should run well, so she'd be pick for me here, along with the number 14 horse Jameson. 20-1. Tom Bellamy's on this one for Nigel Twiston Davies, a 6-year-old gelding by Midnight Legend. Most recently, this horse had to start 17th of January at Newbury Soft Ground, 2 miles in a Class 1 novice handicap chase. This horse finished 4th by 19 lengths that day. Really just kind of hit the wall in the final few strides from the wire. It wasn't 100% that day, but I think with a little bit of a break here on a Racecourse this horse ran well on in the past. I do think this horse should run well. Start before the 16th of December here at Cheltenham. 2 miles 5/8 Class 2 novice chase. This horse finished 4th by 13 lengths that day. But, even though this horse did finish last that day, he had some good jumps over the obstacles. The final few weren't that we're weakening out of it, but the first few, most of the jumps were okay, but I think this horse was just getting going that day. And then the 1st of December at Newbury, 2 miles and a half in a Class 2 handicap chase. Horse finished second by half length. He jumped well, he just missed at the end. It was a decent second place finish, and before that he won a very nice handicap chase to Sandown on the chase course in November very easily. But I like this horse here a lot in this spot. 20 to 1, I'll take my chances with him. And I'll also take my chances with the number 19 horse, the number 19 KF Adventure. 20 to 1, Richard Johnson gets on this Philip Hobbs train, 7-year-old gelded by KF Tara. Most recently, horse had to start a few weeks ago now, the 23rd of February at Warwick, yielding ground 2.5 miles in a Class 2 handicap chase. He finished third by 3 3/4 lengths that day, was 4 to 1 at the post, and this horse jumped well, had a decent foot at the closing foot at the end, wasn't a bad third place finish. Before that at Wincanton, the 1st of February, 2.5 miles in a Class 3 handicap chase. This horse finished second by 7 lengths. Just lacked a good closing kick at the end, but had high weight of 166 pounds, so you could give this horse a little bit of a break that day. And then the handicap chase at Wincanton again, 2.5 miles, January 6th. Horse won by 7 lengths. The horse's first start in 5.5 weeks. A very easy race. You're going to see a very fresh horse with this one today. He's making his 4th start of the year in the first 3 months, and I do like that a lot. Decent weight in this one. He should get a piece of it. Richard Johnson's a great rider also, so watch out for this one at 20 to 1. So to recap my bets for the 7th from Cheltenham. The 5:30 goes off at 1:30 in the afternoon here in New York City in America. It's the Close Brothers Novice Handicap Chase. Gonna go with the number 11 horse here, Divine Spear. I'm gonna go with the number 14 horse, Jameson, and I'm gonna go with the 19 horse, Cave Adventure. 11, 14, 19 in the my top 3 each way wagers for this race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and join me tomorrow for more Cheltenham preview here on YouTube. Good luck, everybody.